Hey, what's up, guys? Today I'll show you a science fiction film, IBOY. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. This movie is set in England, a part of London where there are a lot of gangs and the main characters just have to live by and make it through life in their flats. The ambience is quite relaxed, more on a serious aspect. The gangs mentioned only consist of student teenagers who happen to be only controlled beings, but that doesn't mean they are responsible for their own decisions. The movie opens up with a boy on his computer. He gets distracted by the noise outside his room. He couldn't help but glance towards the open window. He puts his headphones on and drowns in the music instead. Technology is everywhere in the setting. It has many glitchy effects and noise that might come off triggering for some viewers. But we are here for the fantastic portrayal of the actors and the plot that served the most important of it all. It exemplified responsibility, revenge, regret, and more lessons. The movie exhibits how power can become one's curse. Now, let's watch it together. Tom and his friend, Danny, meet him on their walk to school, handing him a second-hand phone and giving him cash in return. Forward to the class scenario where Tom glances at a girl during the discussion. Their teacher catches him and asks him a question where he gives an entirely unrelated answer, causing everyone to laugh. But still, he glances at the girl afterward, and that is Lucy Walker. She tries to talk to him about their science revision and wonders if Tom could help her since she wasn't paying attention to the subject for years. They joke around as they walk and later on separate. The movie skips to his home where he watches TV and asks a novel writer, Nan, his grandmother, and questions about his crush. But he replies with an offer to read her story aloud. Tom gets out of the scene as he realizes where the story is going. Tom approaches a unit where Lucy is staying. Everything is eerie as he sees a boy lying on the ground and hears a girl's whimper. Then he finds himself in front of hooded men with a mobile phone and a gun. As they chase him down, he runs out of the unit and calls for an emergency, but the bullet catches him. He wakes up in a hospital where Nan watches over him. The doctor speaks up to him, pointing out how fragments of his phone stuck up to a part of his brain, but all he could think about is Lucy, if ever she's in the same hospital as him. His condition is unusual, as the doctor states. The hospital discharges him. He believes he could have done something. Nan calls out the driver, who keeps staring at Tom. This is where his vision started to falter. I mean, when he looked up, the digital clock and numbers and calculations spread out to him instead. He wakes up, has breakfast with her mom, and gets insecure about his appearance, where she assures him he looked just fine. He thinks Lucy would not want to see him. Tom passes by the street and overhears strangers' conversation through the phone from afar, although it isn't even on loudspeaker. He enters an elevator with flowers in his hand. He goes to Lucy's unit and begins flitches with any device he comes across. Lucy says she's glad Tom isn't dead. He apologizes, but Lucy tells him it's alright, but he is apologetic as he wasn't able to do anything. Everything starts to mess up his head as noises and digital interfaces exhibit in vision. He opens up his window curtain, only to see much worse as the cityscape welcomes him from outside. He passes out. He wakes up the next day, thinking all was just imagination. He still attends school since it is exam season. He meets up with his friend Danny and tells him a gangster named Eugene must be at the crime scene. He rides a bus to see the digital interfaces everywhere once again, and enters the school just to see it again, realizing none was his imagination. But he finds a blurry vision of what happened to Lucy that day, as if it was in a recorded file. He glances back to Eugene, who suddenly drops his phone, swearing as the class laughs at him. Then we see a billiard place where the party he got invited to is being held. The movie pans to Lucy trying to speak out through her laptop. Then the visions of the incident start occurring again in Tom's head, because the devices present are also current in the same place. Lucy closes her laptop and puts it aside. Tom stands up and approaches Eugene, and almost gets into trouble. Danny drags him out of the party, so Tom just walks away, types in his phone, exchanging messages with Lucy. He meets up with her and asks how she is. She cringes at the sight of the group of men walking out from the ground. Tom assures her that she's going to be alright. Eugene receives an anonymous message with a threat. Tom starts to adjust to this life. He follows Eugene's gang in the streets. He overhears the conversation as he watches from afar. Cass and Eugene walk away from Kutz's car. Kutz is their higher up. Then the two teenagers receive a message with a warning both at the same time, so they look back at Klutz in confusion. An unknown number messages Lucy, but it was Tom. Lucy tries to walk out alone in fear. Tom starts observing the people involved in the crime with his abilities, playing with their devices to scare them. The next day, a future planning assembly is held in their school where Tom manipulates the projection screen and presents a video of Cass jerking off to embarrass him in the crowd. Later on, Tom tells Lucy about it. They both laugh at it. Lucy messages the unknown number, telling him that she knows that he's messing up with them because he knew that gang harassed her. Lucy says that they did this to her because her brother didn't want to join the gang. Lucy asks what's the unknown's name, so he introduces himself as IBOY. Tom interrupts Lucy by asking her if she wants to go have dinner. They go out on a date on a bench, sharing food, talking out. Lucy tells him that he's the only one who checks on her after what happened, aside from her mom. But when they head back to the flat, they stumble on Eugene's gang. She starts to tremble. Eugene makes a face and says he feels sorry about what happened to her and her brother, but asks if she doubts them. He says it's because someone has been messing with them after the incident occurred. He thinks Lucy had anything to do with it. He scares her and accuses her. Luckily, Tom stops him, so Eugene accuses him instead, only for his whole gang to get an interrupting message that they have the wrong guy. So Tom and Lucy leave hurriedly. She apologizes and thanks Tom as she trembles into her flat. The gang breaks into someone's car. Doors are locking up, engine starting, and radio playing all of a sudden, causing them to panic. The car revs and smoke comes out. The radio asks why they attacked the walkers. Cass reasons out that they only got told to, and it was their boss. A fire starts, and they say the boss is Cuts. The door opens for them to escape before the explosion. Then we'll see Tom standing from afar. Tom searches for the Cuts, connecting the dots virtually, and traces his location. Cut sees his car on their television screen, a stranger opening the door and pissing on it, so they run towards where his car is. Tom enters the lair and smokes. He explodes every device present, causing a mess. After that, he steals their stash of weed. IBOY Tom repacks the drugs and scatters them, then sends the gang's locations to the police. So the police catch them one by one. Later, he uploads the gang's car incident on YouTube, manipulating their bank account's balance, messing up their miserable lives. Nan interrogates him because of his suspicious movements. Cuts calls with someone named Elman, telling him how things are out of control. Cuts promises to sort things out, but Elman threatens him with his life if he doesn't do the job right. Tom overhears it and scans for the guy's face. Cuts calls up his people and orders them to bring him every piece of technology they have. He stops Cass and interrogates him, wondering why nothing happened to him. The gang start taking every part of technology per flat forcibly. Tom realizes what happens and makes his next move. Nan talks with Danny regarding Tom. He says he'll watch out for him. Tom observes Cuts. Lucy messages IBOY, telling him to stop, but he says he's doing it for her. Then he follows Cuts. He looks up the sky and sees the traces of the police aircraft surveying the metro, scanning the car plate numbers on his own to catch up to the criminals. He was able to follow and see their den. He searches mentally on how to take down an opponent as he approaches one, with a kick to their back knee and a punch on the face. He finds the drugs, lights them up, and messages Elman that this won't stop until he's gone. But the other men could catch him, punching him and beating him up on the ground. He hears a static noise to ring their heads as he tries to escape. He wakes up beside the river the next day. Lucy calls his phone, but he's not picking up, so she goes to take the exams without him. Later, he shows up to her, but Lucy finds him annoying. They see a man hung up in the building. It is Cass. Danny talks with him on the rooftop. He asks him where he has been up to. Lately, Tom comes up with an alibi, but Danny says it doesn't seem like it. Tom asks him who killed Cass, but Danny says he blamed the hacker for it. Tom goes to his doctor, desperately asking for an operation, but the doctor refuses. Tom heads back to his flat. He wakes up and walks out of his room, only to have a gun pointed at his head by Keon. Then he comes face to face with Elman, who is reading Nan's work. Nan sees him, and he calls her Wendy. They seem to have known each other years ago. They talk in tension. Elman reminisces since he grew up in the same place. Elman tells Tom that he hears rumors about his technical ability and believes that it is true. Elman proposes to help him reach his full potential, but Tom knows he'll use it to make a lot of money. Elman knocks Tom to the floor and asks where Lucy is. Lucy is held captive by Eugene. She questions why they are doing this when they have known each other since then. Tom says this started happening after they shot him. Elman says Danny betrayed him and that he turned him into them. Elman shows money into Danny's mouth. Elman orders Tom to put money in his bank account, or he'll do the unexplainable. So Tom puts money in his account. They watch the balance go up in his phone. Eugene and the gang hear the police sirens, so Lucy screams for help. They hide until the police leave. They sigh in relief, but Lucy points the gun at them now. Elman gets Tom and tells him he knows his mom. Lucy unleashes her wrath in tears, ordering Eugene and the others to beg for their lives. She leaves them but stumbles on Elman. Sophie points the gun, but puts it down when she sees Tom being held at gunpoint as well. Elman orders Eugene to grab the weapon from Lucy. Cuts hits Tom by the nape when he calls Lucy. Elman orders Tom to continue increasing the account balance on his phone, but he's having difficulties resuming. Tom asks him if he allows him to run away, he will take it. But Elman asks him why he would even do that. He realizes the phone turned into a ticking bomb, so he throws it. Tom stands up and shoots lasers on each man there until Eugene is left tightly holding Lucy. Lucy grabs the gun from Eugene and hits his face with it. Tom runs out to find Elman. It is raining and Elman manages to hit his back with a steel tube. Tom falls to the ground. He kicks him, but Tom brings the static noise to his head. Tom stands up, but Elman headbutts him to fall again. Elman picks up a tube and approaches him, saying, "No, you are special, but I'm still going to kill you." Lucy enters the scene, releasing gunshots, and tells him to get the hell away from Tom. He tries to reload the gun and shoots him. So he grabs Lucy and punches her. Tom stands and Elman picks up the tube again, swings it, but Tom screams his heart out, causing them both to fall to the ground in exhaustion. The frame shows the three of them lying flat on the ground as rain pours. Forward to another hospital scene. Nan holds Tom's hand until he wakes up. He starts recovering. When he passes by, Danny calls up to him, aware that their friendship is over, and offers him the money Elman gave, but Tom refuses to accept it. In the next scene, we'll see Tom sightseeing the tall buildings. Lucy enters the scene and tells him not to jump unless he can fly. They chuckle. He apologizes and she forgives him. The camera zooms out to get a glimpse of the table set up like a date's. She asks if he'll stick around, and he says he will. Then we finally receive their awaited tongue massage as the theme song plays. Lastly, they admire the scenery together. This is Daniel's CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your fun for today.